in honor of Day of the Dead, Día de los Muertos, for November 1st and 2nd, I wanted to invite you to this honoring that I am doing for myself and wanted to bring you along if you wanted to come. So I will leave some space for either silence or just reflection. It's up to you. You can just listen as an activation. But for this, traditionally, there is the classic face painting of the skulls, and there's lots of flowers. I went to pick up marigolds for this, but they were looking sort of sorry, so I just got this other really pretty orange flowering plant. And yeah, it's a very somber day, but in the tradition, they bring flowers and life and lots of color, and the idea is to celebrate the life of those you love that have passed on, and also you're honoring your heritage and your ancestors and all of that have come before you. Uh, Day of the Dead is known to be on November 1st and the day after Halloween, or Samhain, and it also extends through the 2nd. And I was doing a little bit of research, and it was saying that the first is actually for honoring children that have passed, and then the 2nd is for anyone else. So depending on when you listen to this, you're not too late, and or it's always special to do this. This just happens to be the time of year where the veils between the spirit world and the physical world, it was 222 when I said that, are said to be the thinnest, and that the spirits can more easily access our world, and then it goes both ways. So I hope you had a good Halloween yesterday. I don't know, the energies have been sort of ruthless. And although I did see a little baby in a Cookie Monster costume with the googly eyes on its head that made me smile quite big. And you might be going through a candy hangover today. But it's interesting how much the energy has shifted. I felt like it yesterday, the sun was out, and there was a lot of chaotic energy, a lot of interruptions, a lot of like couldn't keep up with everything. And I don't know, that might just be my own personal experience. But then today it's like gray skies. I saw 7 crows when I first went out. Just very somber energy. On that note, Saturn is slowing down and also about to station this weekend. So Saturn can be the deep reflection and the grief. It's been retrograde since the summer. So you might possibly be feeling that as well. Saturn can be quite heavy. So the what do I want to say here? I didn't. These aren't cards that are pulled randomly. I specifically went through the decks to find a couple different variation of the death card, and then from the Threads of Fate, I saw the Ancestors card and also pulled that, which is really beautiful. Like the circle of life and the hair. You probably can't see because the candle's illuminating it, but there's the tree branches. It's branches of a tree, so like your family tree, and then also the deep roots. And from the White Sage Tarot, I pulled this little death card out because I love that it's a tunnel and seeing light at the end of the tunnel. I once had a teacher say death isn't a time, it's a place. And I still contemplate that to this day, but it had this resounding effect of like when you clink a glass, or like when a singing bowl is hit just that perfect resonance. It really struck me. And death is really mysterious, and it's taboo to talk about too. So here I am being taboo, and I think that's why I really, really appreciate this, like a day set aside to specifically acknowledge and honor death and the dead. And in doing so, honoring the mysteries of life and celebrating the life of those you love and or your lineage. Because like it or not, it's something we will all experience one day. And it's even in this, there's something about it that puts the pettiness into perspective. That's where I have a deeper appreciation for it. And we don't know, a lot of people claim to know, and everyone is entitled to their own belief or non-belief. And yet it simply is. And it's not the opposite of life, it's a part of life. And we live in a polarity universe, so they go together. And I say that with all due respect, because the grieving process is not anything to mess with or to, loss is its own thing. And that's also a part of death. And so I wanted to hold space for that if you are going through that. Help create a space and hold a space for any kind of loss, big or small. All change comes with loss. One of my good friends from long ago used to say, even when things are good, you still have to grieve the way things were. We so want familiarity. And so death is like, it's just the unknown. It's completely unknown, and we can't know it while we're alive. So circles back to the mystery. I really love this card with the tunnel, though, as a portal, going to somewhere else. And it also, this is just my own personal views, so you don't have to agree with me. I've always said that, like, yes, the physical dies, but what's eternal within us remains. And so to me, that's the light in the eyes. Like, where does that go? Like, that goes somewhere. So I see that as that's where that's going. And that's all I'll really say about that, or need to say about that. And then I don't know, this from the Kim Kranz tarot, this was my first tarot deck ever, her death card. It is so bleak. It's so how this November 1st day feels where I am located. It might not be that way where you're located. But it's the like leftover skeleton of a bird with these feathers clinging to it, and that's just so very much how death feels in life. And yet I also feel like it speaks to a freedom as well. Obviously, in life, birds flying free is the greatest freedom. Um, I don't know. Any creature could experience with the rig. Maybe dolphins have it just as good. I don't know. I don't know. Depends on if you're a water creature or an air creature. Um, I love the animal world so much. And anytime I see like a dead animal on the road too, I always take a minute to say, "May your soul pass in peace." And sometimes the physical form, it it's it's so real. So I know in some of my past videos I like to speak of death as like symbolism, like death in a dream is just transformation and it's not real, but it is it is that, and it is also really effing real. And if you've lost someone, it's really effing real. And they say time heals all wounds, but it just helps them fade. I don't know that it even helps them. It's going to be different in every situation. But just like, your consciousness is the same as when you were 3 years old. It's maybe matured and evolved. And that's why you hear older people say they don't feel any different than when they were 20. And I have personally had dreams where I have woken up and experienced myself die in the dream, decay, and still be watching that process with the same level of consciousness. And I don't think I've ever been the same after that dream. So this idea of energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can merely transform, and in the physical plane it will transform, and then in the ethereal, in the eternal realm, that doesn't die and love doesn't die. And I feel like I wanted to communicate that message and then take that love that doesn't die and give it a space to exist right now. So, if you have a candle and you want to light it, you're welcome to do so. And we'll just start with taking some breaths. Breathing into your fingertips and your toes. Bringing life there. And exhaling just your stagnant energy. Allowing and being present with whatever is with you right now. Whatever I may be stirred up. Talking, if you were listening. Just wherever you are, let yourself be there. Maybe say hello to some sadness. And if there's nothing there, that's okay too. Continuing to breathe, to let the breath be a friend. To let your bones get heavy. And to let go a little deeper into the silence and the stillness. Whatever thoughts are present, just allow them. You don't have to attach to them. Just whatever's coming up from you, let it be there. And just bring your attention back to the breath. Steady, soft, cleansing breaths. And then I invite you to bring to mind someone you love that maybe isn't here in the physical, and just allowing yourself to connect with either an image of them in your mind's eye, maybe just their essence, the way they made you feel. What was your favorite thing about them? Allowing whatever comes up to come. Creating a safe space and a safe container for this remembrance. And just say, I honor and acknowledge you and the way your existence touched mine. And you are not forgotten. I carry you in my heart always. And I'll just leave a little space to communicate anything else you would like to right now, such as I love you or miss you. Whatever that is personally for you. You could even say life sucks without you. Or I wish I could have said this before you left. Or I hope you're doing okay. Or I hope to see you again someday. Know that I'm holding you in a sacred and safe container while you do this. You're not alone in it. There's nothing to be afraid of. And then maybe also you can make a request. So I like to create a little bit of space for a request, such as, hey, maybe you could come visit me in my dreams. Or maybe you could give me a sign sometime in the next 48 hours after I've participated in this, to just let me know there was a connection made, or that maybe you heard me. And maybe you feel an energy around you right now. And I'd also like to create a space for that, to just simply ask, is there any messages you want to communicate with me right now, because I am listening? And then I'm just going to hold some space to listen and see if anything comes back to you. Trust whatever you get. Don't let the logical mind get in the way. And if nothing comes, that's okay. Just know that we are taking a moment of silence to honor the dead. Remembering to breathe. Now, if you are in a place that you're not ready to leave, feel free to pause the video and take as much time as you need here. Otherwise, I'd like to invite you back into this moment and to offer whatever you loved and cherished most about whoever you brought to mind. The smile they bring your heart, if you could offer that back to them right now. And give thanks. As I also thank you for taking the time to do this. I'd love to hear what came up for you, but I understand that this is also very, very personal. I'll just share that I was thinking of someone very specific that I lost over a year ago. And but actually I had an animal visitation from one of my first pet sitting clients. His energy came through and that really warmed my heart. So I just wanted to share that.